And we are people at 65 and over. We're going to be hit very hard, and that's going to hurt your families also. Because I know you all have parents, you have grandparents, so. And you're going to see, they're going to say, I'm sorry, it's not cost effective. You can't have that procedure. All right? I had cancer, breast cancer. I'm going to be 70. I still work. All right? And I had it 2 years ago. I had everything done. My Empire and my Medicare paid for it. All my procedures. So we have the best. I'm telling you, it's the best. And if you change this, you're going to be put out to pasture, the people that are old.
Okay, come on, Annabelle, admit it. The big healthcare lobbyists paid you to say this, right?
No one, no one. This is coming from my heart. Okay. I'm an American, and I love my country.
Why doesn't Harry Reid believe that?
Because Harry Reid has got his head somewhere else. Who knows?
Where the sun doesn't shine?
When the sun doesn't shine.
Oh, okay, well, it's shining here today.
Yeah, so Harry Reid and Pelosi are so. They're not realizing. They know what they're doing, really. They do know because they want to push it through. And they all know. He does, the president, they all know what they're doing. And they want to ruin the country and take over completely. And once they do that, that's it.
Thanks,
so
Annabelle.
People, wake up, people, wake up.
Great
I got my
comment.
sister to believe it now. She didn't. She thought, oh no, they're good.
You're a real converter. You're proselytizing.
Oh, you better believe
evangelical.
And my neighbors, yes, because you have to do this. It's so important. It's our life.
Right.
And our freedom.
For our children and our grandchildren.
You're doing it for your children and your grandchildren.
We don't want the day to come when our kids, when this country becomes socialist.
You're not doing it for the healthcare lobbyists?
Well, no.
You're not doing it for the GOP?
We want our children to say, why didn't you
Come on, you guys are really doing it because you're disgruntled that Obama won the election.
We want
right?
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay, well, that's what a lot of people
say.
I mean, a lot of Democrats seem to claim that.
We want our children not to be left with this tremendous debt that they'll never be able to pay off. Never.
Very good.
Why didn't they have them say, why didn't you do something when you could?
Right, right. Very good. This is for posterity, in other words.
Yes. Amongst other things.
Thank you. God bless you.
How's everybody doing?
That's great.
You don't feel the politicians are hearing you, huh?
Absolutely not.
Okay, and what do you think about Harry Reid calling you an evil monger?
I know who the evil monger is.
He's one to call.
Harry Reid comes from a little town in the desert with about 200 people. What does he think he can represent us?
You have any swastikas on you?
No.
Nancy Pelosi accuses you guys of sympathizing with Nazis.
We're American.
No
It's going to have an
swastikas.
impact. 50,000 people will drive by and come into this mall from this side today. That's what our goal is.
Okay, Steve Flanagan, the head of the CSA, Conservative Society for Action, said about 50,000 people will be passing by this area today. He's probably right. It's a very busy area in front of the Smithhaven Mall. A lot of mothers and families coming for back-to-school purchasing.
Yes, and waving and cheering us on.
Are you guys aware there's a congressman from the state of Washington, Brian Baird, he's a Democrat, who says that you guys are like Timothy McVeigh? He actually used those words.
I saw him on TV. That's a disgrace.
It's amazing, isn't it?
First time in my life the government ever talked down to the citizens.
I mean, that's actually calling you a domestic terrorist.
Right,
that's really what he's saying.
Well, so did Homeland Security.
What do you think about that?
They are the
How do I feel about that?
Yeah.
Very insulted.
Right.
I've served this country 30 years. I'm no terrorist. I have a business. I pay my employees. I pay taxes. I struggle to make payroll in this economy, and these guys are busy spending my money for me.
Are you a paid protester? Are you a paid protester? Oh, I have to ask. All these powers that be in government are claiming that you guys have been paid and bussed in.
This is
Right? Wait a second. You got a red shirt. That looks like it's part of a big group.
The 912 project.
The 912. Didn't Glenn Beck start that?
Yeah, he started the movement,
Right.
but it's a project. It's a movement.
Are you on anybody's payroll?
No, as a matter of fact, this cost us money to be here.
Cost you money to be here, right?
Yeah, and what they fail to recognize is that it's not, it's a matter of liberty. We as a civil society institute government to do certain things that only affirm our rights, and healthcare does not do that. It takes the choices of who lives and who dies, and most importantly, the reasons why people live and die and what the choices that they make.
Well, how do you feel about the 47 million who are uninsured?
This definitely needs some addressing. Congress could pass any number of laws that would help healthcare.
But I mean, do you buy that figure? You think that figure's accurate?
Not really. No, I mean,
Because I heard 20% of that are illegal.
sure, but the people are here. They're in the country. It's certainly it's certainly contributing to the state of healthcare. But this could be easily not easily fixed, but it could be fixed through sensible legislation. Like, how about term health insurance, where you could buy a policy for 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years? So you buy it when you're 24 and it's cheap, and you have it until you're 35 when it's cheap. You know, portability, being able to buy health care across state lines.
Do you think malpractice is a big problem in this country? Malpractice lawsuits?
I think malpractice lawsuits do contribute to the cost of health care.
So you think tort reform is a key element to this?
Tort reform, my personal opinion is that it's something that has to be looked at. You have to be able to protect a person's right to seek recourse through the courts if someone acts wantonly or with gross negligence.
Yeah, but doctors are saying that they're forced to give multiple redundant tests that are not even necessary to cover their legal liability. And that's driving up the cost.
Because we have lawsuits now that are being brought up that aren't the result of wanton negligence. You know, if a doctor acts with blatant disregard for the standards of care that any reasonable doctor would perform, then I think that there should be no caps on lawsuits. If it's something that, there was a good faith effort made to diagnose a patient and something went wrong, it's called a medical practice for a reason. It's a practice, it's an art.
Right.
And if a doctor, is not perfect at all times, then he should not be burdened with the cost of.
So a lot of these doctors are practicing defensive medicine. They're trying to defend themselves against frivolities.
Yeah, you could say that.
Right.
You could say
and
that.
according to CNN, I just saw it the other day, they estimate that $230 billion in additional costs come from these legal liabilities that forces doctors to perform unnecessary tests. And that's almost $250 billion.
I'll take your word for the number.
Well, that's
assuming
what CNN
all things
says.
equal, assuming CNN is correct, that is
a big
very,
problem, right?
very high burden on the healthcare system.
Yeah.
But another thing that we're gathered here to talk about is the rationing of care. People say this bill doesn't ration care. The fact of the matter is that there's a finite amount of healthcare to go around. It is and always will be rationed. We currently ration the care through our health insurance system, and if you don't have insurance, through ethical triage. You go to a hospital, whoever's hurt the most is going to get the treatment. When you take the choices away from the free market and you put it in the hands of government, the rationing will be made based on a cost-benefit analysis. How much does it cost, and what's the benefit to society? Instead of what the benefit is to each individual who we presume to be created equal. And that's important, because the view of this bill is to view society, to view the individual's rights in the prism of what's best for society. And anytime you do that, it threatens all individual rights.
You're a young guy. You have any plans of running for Congress in the future?
No.
Oh, that's a shame. We could use
I'm
you.
not crooked enough to be a politician, but no.
You mind giving your name?
Yeah, my name's Rich.
And what town are you from?
Riverhead.
You want to give your last name?
Sure. Rich Burns.
Okay, because I'm going to put this on YouTube and give you credit for your comments. Thank you very much, Rich.
I'm not crazy, by the way.
Yeah, no,
I don't belong
no,
to
people
any.
will judge that. I
Right.
don't think they're going to judge you crazy.
Put
How do you
this-
spell your last name?
B-U-R-N-S.
Okay.
Put this on YouTube, though.
I am.
I'm not a member of any political party.
I was going to ask that, as a matter of fact. Are you being paid by any lobbyists or special interests?
We are. All these people.
Are you a union member?
No. All these people here are under no public or private influence, but reason and principle, and that's important because we've been characterized as a lot.
Well, that's the definition of a grassroots movement.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So do you take offense when they say you're part of an astroturf movement?
Do I take offense?
Well, they're saying it's not real. You're not real. You're fake. You're being paid to say these things.
No, I know the truth. Why would I take offense to that? It troubles me a little bit, but you know what? That just goes to show you that you can't win this argument from the other side based on the merits of the case. The merits are on our side. The principles are on our side. They could call us aliens from Mars for all I care. We know the truth. We know where we stand, and we're not going to be bossed around or bullied into shutting up.
Thanks, Rich. That's a very good comment.